Happy holidays and welcome back to the Las Vegas Strip from the Link Studios overlooking Caesars Palace. He's Tyler Foljam. I'm Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Bet. Christmas Day action, Secret Santa, something called Santa's Bag. You'll notice some of that stuff right here. All coming up on the show as we get set to rock into the holiday weekend. But we start with breaking news out of Houston. So, if you haven't been following the story, it continues to unravel at the moment.
Oh, boy.
Videos surfaced this morning of Rocket superstar James Harden apparently, possibly in a situation where he was with a group of people that may have been in violation of the league's COVID protocol. A gentleman's club was a suggestion. The league was looking into the video to see whether or not it had happened recently or if this was something maybe a year or two ago. Harden took to social media and said the following, quote, "One thing after another. I went to show love to my homegirl at her event, not a strip club, because she is becoming a boss and putting her people in position of success, and now it's a problem. Every day it's something different. No matter how many times people try to drag my name under, you can't. The real always end up on top." So Harden letting everyone know he was not at a strip club. In the process, it appears as if he ratted himself out because they weren't really concerned if he was going to a strip club, just if he was going to an event in general. Tim McMahon, ESPN. James Harden clarified that the event in question was not at a strip club. By doing so, he admits violating the NBA's COVID-19 protocols, which prohibit players from going to bars, lounges, or clubs, or social events with more than 15 people, end quote. As a result, Harden looks like he will be out for tonight's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this game, originally Houston -7, is now off the board. Bleh. What do you make of it? It's too much.
Yeah,
too much.
Harden in trying to, I guess, protect his image or kind of throw shade at the doubters. He kind of took the Kyrie stance here. The media is making this blown out of proportion. No, James, they don't care if you're at a strip club or not, which, again, is not a bright idea. It's if you're in any enclosed space without a mask on, which the video clearly shows, as he was getting a nice piece of, like, Dior luggage that looked like it was worth about 4 or 5 figures.
Oh.
He did get a nice gift.
Not going to ask how you know that, but
I've seen the video. I've seen the video. I was not there.
I have been studying the Zapruder tape.
If James Harden's not playing, now the game is off the board. From a betting perspective, I don't even want to look at it right now. If Harden was playing, I like the Rockets. If he wasn't playing, I think I still like the Rockets. But now who knows if the NBA has to go through contract tracing now with James Harden, and that affects other players and teammates on this Houston Rockets team. So just stay away from this. It's a complete mess that seems to be initiated by James Harden.
You got to wonder, just throwing this out there, you got to wonder if they'll even be able to play the game tonight, because if Harden's admitting being at this event, then coming into contact with teammates at practice, we have no idea how it's going to play out. So stay tuned for more throughout the course of the day.
Things going well down in Houston.
Yeah, well, speaking of things going well, sarcastically, the Parlay to Paradise. We're going to lead with it today because we have so much to get to on the show. For those who are new, here's how it works. 9-team parlay for $50 for a chance for my man and I to make so much money we can retire and go live somewhere in the islands, possibly together, possibly not together. It could be weird. We're not even going to put the graphic.
Are we inviting James Harden?
You know what? Yeah. Seems like he doesn't have much going on these days.
He got new luggage, new nice Dior luggage, so he's ready to travel.
Last week we did not hit, so we're at it again. Tyler, what are your 4?
4 legs. Boston on Christmas Day against Brooklyn +1.
Interesting.
Brooklyn, I think, going to be overvalued. Look at this line to maybe change before then and get better if you want Boston there. But Boston is a legit NBA Finals contender in the East. They're not the Golden State Warriors. Much tougher test for KD and Kyrie. Atlanta, +10.5 against KC. Let me real quickly read you a note on how good Atlanta has been of late and the struggles that we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have won 6 straight games, 9 in a row as a matter of fact, but they're 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games. Matt Ryan is 5-1 ATS in his career as a double-digit dog, so this is a backdoor situation. Or maybe the Falcons get up by 17 in the first half, and the Chiefs storm back and beat the Falcons by like a field goal or a touchdown, as we know the Falcons like to give up.
Tampa did that to them last week.
You know I like to find money line dogs. The most likely money line dogs to juice our value for this. The Rams at +105 against Seattle. The Titans +155 on the road against Green Bay.
You love Green Bay.
I love Green Bay.
What are you doing?
But no one will stop on Green Bay, the big dog Derrick Henry. The Green Bay rush defense is a juicy opportunity for Derrick Henry to eat. Arr, arr, arr.
All right, so I like that. I'm interested in that. I think the over is real big there, hinting as
well.
to where I'm going.
As well,
Boom,
like
that's
that.
right at the bottom. What does Tennessee do well? Run the ball. What does Green Bay do poorly? Defend the run.
Right.
What does Green Bay do well? Throw the ball. What does Tennessee do poorly? Defend the pass. That game's going over. Watch for the weathers. It could be Snowmageddon at Lambeau Field. Georgia Southern, -6. That game is in an hour and 55 minutes. I'm trying to blow the parlay up 2 hours in. 2 hours in, I'm trying to blow the whole thing off.
On a weekend parlay, I love it.
Georgia Southern a lot better than their 7-5 record indicates. 9 of their 12 games decided by a single possession. They were tied with undefeated Coastal Carolina, 14 apiece in the fourth. Wow. They can play. The same cannot be said about Louisiana Tech. Their numbers a bit inflated. The Mavericks +1 over the Suns. That game's tonight. I love your assessment of the Suns getting Chris Paul. I love the fact that they're on the rise. I think with the way he plays, a slower pace, the Suns ranked 9th in pace last year. I think there's going to be a little bit of growing pain there. Just take some time to get some chemistry going. Mavericks, we saw them last year. I don't think we need much time for chemistry at all. They were the #1 offense historically with what we saw last season. I will take the Mavericks. And then Milwaukee -8.5 over Golden State. Don't sweat it, just bet it. Because the way the Warriors have played, and that game's already up to 9. I'd still lay it there as well. The Warriors do not play defense. Remember something. People still look at the Warriors. Yeah, they're just off a dynasty. The dynasty involved Durant. He's not there anymore. Klay Thompson, he's injured. Draymond Green, he's injured. A good bench, out. Coaching, like all this. Andre Iguodala. It's a completely different team. So there we go. Our special guest for this week, Nick Friedel, NBA reporter for ESPN. He is going to be picking Houston and I don't even know what that is. Hawaii over 59.5.
Friedel going college football.
Wow, he's going college football.
The NBA guy. I love it. We've never really had a guest picker stray from their niche or expertise, and Friedel is doing that here. Love it.
Interesting.
Shows
Hawaii and Houston over.
Betting DJ. Like
Chance to win $24,000. We will recap it on Monday, or we'll recap it in 4 hours if my Georgia Southern pick gets blown off. All right, let's go to our guest today, NBA reporter for ESPN who covers the New Orleans Pelicans, Andrew Lopez, kind enough to join us here on Bet. Andrew, thank you very much for the time. Zion Williamson averaged 33.5 minutes per game during the preseason, an astronomical number. If you had to make a bet on Christmas Day, Zion against the Miami Heat, over or under 35 minutes played for Zion Williamson?
I think I'm going under. I think 33, 34 is probably his limit right now. Stan Van Gundy told reporters last week that Zion's been tired in some of those minutes, and they'll keep pushing him so that they can get him to that 33, 34-minute mark. Remember, the 33.50 he played in the last preseason game would have been his top number of all of last year in regulation games. So I think it's still going to be just a tad under 35, although he is planning on playing an 8 or 9 man rotation, but I do think that bench is going to get some heavy minutes.
Andrew, Zion is a long shot to win the league's MVP at 33-1, but it opened at 50-1, so those odds are getting a little shorter. Is that a bet that you think is worthwhile as a long shot dart, 33-1 for Zion to win the MVP, his sophomore campaign in the association?
I think it's a long shot, but I do think he's going to put up a lot of numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if most improved is in the realm of possibility. He averaged 28.5 and 10 in the preseason. Granted, it was only 2 games, but if he's going to get that average up, I'd like him to be able to make a splash, especially if he stays healthy this year.
By the way, Brother Joe, before you ask the next question, just for edifice, just so people know, the longest odds for an eventual MVP to open the season, 25-1, Derrick Rose back in 2010-11.
He rose.
So it would be quite historic if Zion actually did win the MVP.
What a season he had back then. Andrew Lopez joining us here on Bet. All right, so the season win total for the New Orleans Pelicans is 35, meaning the over wins if the Pelicans can win 36 or more games this season. Now remember, it's not an 82-game season, it's a 72-game season. So over, under 35, which way would you go?
I think I'm going over. I kind of peg them as a 500 or a little bit higher team. I do think they're in that play-in mix in the West. I think they're at like 37 to 38 wins as they try to figure some things out. So I'm going to go over on the 35.
All right, finally on Christmas Day, the first present will open on the NBA slate is a game featuring the Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Heat are favored by 5, 5.5, depending where you're shopping in this matchup. Would you take the points with the Pelicans or would you lay with the Heat on Christmas Day?
I'm gonna take the Pels. I think they're gonna come out. They're gonna be looking to to kind of prove themselves. Maybe Miami, because of the 71-day layoff between seasons, they kind of play things slow. When these two teams played in the preseason, now granted, Miami didn't have Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, or Iguodala, but the Pels kind of had their way a little bit. Maybe Miami plays things slow early on. I would go to the Pels in that scenario.
NBA reporter for ESPN who covers the New Orleans Pelicans, Andrew Lopez, kind enough to join us here on Bet. Andrew, thank you so much for the time. Happy holidays.
All right, thank you, guys.
Christmas action. Christmas Day action, a degenerate special. I literally do not miss a bet on Christmas Day.
Well,
I bet
you have a
game.
wife, you have kids, you have a family. You, of course, should be doing those things like betting NBA basketball and watching NBA.
The wife and children will not slow me down. I will bet every single Christmas Day game as I do each and every year. It's a tradition. You watch a Christmas Story for the 24-hour stretch. You catch that, and then you bet every single Christmas game. So with that in mind, very interested to see what you're going to be thinking.
Okay.
You want to run through all the games?
Why not? What else are we going to do?
Chronological order. Game number 1. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. We just talked about it. They're catching 5, a 5-point underdog at Miami, the defending Eastern Conference champs. Which way are you going?
I am going to lay the wood here with the Heat. We know how dominant they were at home last year, Joe. That's a stat that you like to throw out there. 29-7 when they played at home. And we're not in the bubble. They will, without fans, albeit, but the Miami crowd is sometimes late arriving, so I don't know how much juice they actually gave them. I think the Miami flu, even though players who visit from New Orleans aren't supposed to go out. We've seen NBA players, NFL players out in the streets. Miami is enticing always for the visitor. So I'm going to lay it because I just think the Heat are the much better team. We saw that last year. A bad defensive matchup for the Pelicans because Bam Adebayo is so good in the paint. He has the strength and length to contain Zion Williamson. Jimmy Butler on the perimeter can defend guys like Brandon Ingram. So a bad matchup. The Heat, the much better team. The one thing I'm interested to see about this Pelicans team with Stan Van Gundy at the helm, we are so used to them from seasons prior being a great matchup for your offense because they played at a breakneck pace and they didn't play good defense. Well, SVG is known for his defense and for slowing down the pace. As a matter of fact, the Pelicans were tied with the Knicks, Joe, for the slowest pace in the NBA this preseason. An anomaly or something that is a trend that will continue throughout the season? Something to consider. As far as Christmas Day is concerned, our first present on the tree, I think we're unwrapping a Heat victory by at least 6 points.
Miami plays at a very slow pace as well, so keep that in mind for the under. I'm going to give you a couple picks here. My pick for the game is, believe it or not, I am going to take the Pelicans plus the points in this one. I also like the Pelicans early in the first quarter. Why? You may be asking. Long-term this season, the Heat are going to be the better team. On paper right now, the Heat are the better team. But remember something. Between that Game 6 loss to the Lakers and now 72 days of non-competitive basketball, that is a quick turnaround. And what happened to the Lakers against the Clippers last night?
Yeah, they looked sluggish.
They look sluggish, especially early.
Yeah, right.
So if I'm looking to make a bet, I will take 5 with the Pelicans. I think Van Gundy's going to have this team spry in their step. They were 2-6 in the bubble last year. They humiliated themselves. I think for this game, I think early in the season here, they're going to be flying around a little bit. Then there's going to be some growing pains. I do think Miami comes out sluggish tonight, and I think they're going to be sluggish on Christmas Day. There's going to be an opportunity. I will take the points with the Pelicans.
Looks like we have a roulette bet here, my friend.
There we go. Look at you, flipping to me. And we converted. Look at us. All right, one difference. Game number 2, I'll lead this time off. Milwaukee -9 over Golden State. I will lay it with the Bucks. The Warriors are going to struggle this year, especially when Draymond Green is not on the floor. He is the IQ of that team. He is the defensive backbone of that team, and his passing cannot be understated. You saw what happened against the Nets on opening night without Draymond Green. They were nowhere to be found on the defensive end. It's tough to look at Golden State now and think dynasty. People still do because they see Steph. The dynasty featured Durant. He's gone. The dynasty featured Klay Thompson. He's hurt. It featured Draymond Green. He's hurt. It featured Andre Iguodala. He's gone. It featured a good bench. Guys like Mo Buckets, guys like Leandro Barbosa. They're gone. Coaching staffs had some upheaval as well. This is not the same team. It's going to take some time. Milwaukee rolls, in my opinion.
I'm with you on this one. I think the Bucks get a big win over the Warriors by double digits. Last year, they had a plus 10 point differential, which was by far best in the NBA. As a matter of fact, it was best by the next closest team, 3.6 points better than the team that had the second best point differential. The Warriors obviously having issues. We saw scoring Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre. Their efficiency compared to guys like Durant and Klay Thompson is just in a completely different universe in a bad way. And then the Bucks got better defensively by swapping Eric Bledsoe for Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is all NBA defense, and now Steph Curry's going to see that guy for 35 minutes on the floor. That's going to lower his efficiency. Milwaukee, the best defensive team in the NBA a season ago, I think they strangle the Warriors, and then, of course...
Figuratively.
And then Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, those guys get some easy buckets against a defense that's just not near what it was when they were that dynasty.
Very excited about the Giannis Holiday pick and roll. A lot of potential there. All right, game number 3, the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving look fantastic against the Warriors. They're laying 1 at Boston. Your thoughts?
I am going to take the points with the Celtics. I think the Nets are going to be a little overvalued, a little overblown after what we saw on opening night.
It's fair.
Yes, they beat up on the Warriors, but what did we just talk about? The Warriors and the Celtics. The Warriors might be a bottom 5 team in the NBA. The Celtics very likely going to be a top 5 team in the NBA. So this is not going to be a 20, 30-point victory for the Nets, even if they do win this game. Kemba Walker being out concerns me a little bit, but Brad Stevens is an ATS god in the NBA.
It's true.
And with him, he had the Boston Celtics last year had a 60% cover rate, regular season and postseason included, which was second best in the entire NBA behind only Oklahoma City, which was a few percentage points higher. Exactly, right? The defensive efficiency of the Boston Celtics, that's the name of their game, 4th in the NBA last year, and they have all those principal pieces back by and large. I just think the Nets are going to be a little overvalued, and they're going to face a much more difficult test than we saw carving KD, Karis LeVert, Kyrie carving up the Warriors. I'll take the 1-point head start with the Celtics. I actually think they win the game outright.
We got another roulette bet here because I will go ahead and take the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I thought this was going to be a situation where after Brooklyn throttled Golden State, the line would move more because I agree with your logic and assessment. We haven't seen a huge movement. Plus, I want to get ahead of this. I think tonight, when Milwaukee plays Boston, if Milwaukee wins and wins big, we're going to see more movement for the Brooklyn game, which is why I want to get ahead of it now and just lay the 1 point. Both teams are filled with elite talent. Not even going to bother assessing that. What I am going to assess is once you get to the benches and the backups, the edge lies with Brooklyn. Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, guys like that.
Agreed.
Boston's a little thin. They're a little dinged up. And at the same time, how are they going to replace Gordon Hayward's production, right? 15 points, 6 rebounds last year. He shot 50% from the field. I worry about these things. I worry about you, Boston. I stay up at night. I worry.
Legitimate concern over these things, Boston.
Will you replace Gordon Hayward's production? I couldn't sleep last night because of it. And as a result, I will lay the point with the Brooklyn Nets. Game number 4, I will start this one. It's the Dallas Mavericks in Los Angeles taking on the Lakers and LeBron James. Dallas is catching 6. I find myself wanting to play Dallas here.
No.
It's kind of fading Miami, fading the Lakers early in the season. Lakers looked very sluggish early last night against Clippers. Clippers are a very good team, but we know what the Mavericks have on offense. I think 6 points is just too many. I really do. Now, I worry about the Lakers in a bounce-back spot. What are you thinking?
I'm with you. I am going to take the head start with the Dallas Mavericks. I wish
we agree.
Porzingis was available because that obviously unlocks the full potential of this team. But remember the duels that Luka Doncic and LeBron James had in regular season games last year. They were some of the best games in the regular season, and Luka is just that good. I think we are going to see his game taken to even another level his 3rd year here in the league. That's why he's the favorite, overwhelming favorite to win the league MVP. And we look at this team with their offensive efficiency a season ago. A 113.7 offensive efficiency was historically great. As a matter of fact, it was 2.7 points better than the Portland Trailblazers, who were second best in the NBA. And that may seem like a small margin. No, it is not. That's a large margin when comparing first to second in the NBA. So I'll take the head start with the Mavericks. I am a little bit concerned about the Lakers wanting to just kind of measure themselves in a barometer game, a little more intent effort. Maybe an extra minute or 2 for AD and LeBron after they come off that loss against the Clippers and face another Western Conference contender. But this one has backdoor cover written all over it. Even if the Lakers win, the Mavs down the stretch hit a few late free throws and get inside that number of 6.
Final game, the nightcap. You're either doubling down for all your winnings or you're in chase mode, which I'm not going to admit that I've been there before, but I've been in chase mode before. Hawaii's a great chase team, and so is the finale for the NBA Christmas Day card. The Clippers and the Nuggets. It's a pick'em. Originally, this was Nuggets, I believe, -2, but the Clippers looked very good last night against the Lakers. So now it's a pick 'em. Which way are you going?
I'm going to take the Nuggets. We saw in the postseason, the Nuggets, unlike the Lakers, they are kind of motivated to build off what they did last year, shocking the world going to the Western Conference Finals with those 3-1 comebacks in back-to-back series. They did lose a little defensively with Jeremy Grant, and he was a key matchup for them against a team like the LA Clippers because his defense was something that could help make life more difficult for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But they should be a better offensive team, and that is scary because they were already a good offensive team with more minutes for Michael Porter Jr. and Will Barton, who didn't play in the bubble at all last year, being back as a guy who can start or come off the bench and give you 15 to 20 points. And I want you to remember this name. It has nothing to do with the game against the Clippers, but it's a name to consider throughout the regular season because you're going to see some great highlights, not just from Nikola Jokic with the angles and English he creates on his passes, but Facundo Campazzo.
Oh, come on.
Facundo Campazzo is a player they brought
Enrico
over
Palazzo.
from Facundo
It's Enrico Palazzo.
Gabagool. He, along with Nikola Jokic, is going to create the most dynamic passing duo in the entire NBA. Campazzo has, Pete Maravich type passing flair and skills. He'll do some crazy.
Are you making this guy's name up?
I am not. Look it up. Facundo Campazzo.
Be careful with that name.
Yeah.
Careful with that name. You better get that name right.
Campazzo. I hope I'm saying Facundo right.
Really like walking that.
I'm going to take the Nuggets, though, in the pick. I think they win the game.
Roulette bet.
Oh, I didn't even see it coming.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll pick it up afterwards. I am going to play the Clippers in this spot. Clippers are going to be a very good regular season team like last year. The questions for the Clippers are the same as we see with teams like Notre Dame. Will you show up in the playoffs because we know you can make it rain in the regular season? This happens in baseball. The Mets every now and again make a run. The Braves make a run. And then you get to the postseason and you can't close the door. It's okay. It's tough. That's where the best of the best is. And the Clippers are going to have to answer that question later in the year. But earlier in the year, now that they've got one under their belt here, I like them in the spot against Denver. I really do. Denver's got the big three with Jokic and Murray and your boy, Michael Porter Jr. But I wonder what's going to happen after that. I lean to the Clippers. Not my favorite bet on the card, but I lean. Updating you on a story that we opened the show with regarding James Harden, the Rockets in tonight's game. Harden admitted being out, so he was in breach of the COVID protocol. What we were finding out from our own Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN is that John Wall and other teammates on the Rockets have been sent home. Now, Wall tested negative for COVID-19, but because of the contact tracing protocols and because I believe there was one positive test for another teammate, they had to send some of these players home. So we know it's Wall. We know there are other teammates. They've been sent home. We are not sure of their availability for tonight's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel like Dan Rather, breaking news.
Look at you. I will
Welcome,
say this.
America.
If you play daily fantasy, one name to consider on the OKC side.
Did Fagundes again?
A guy who was great in the bubble, Darius Baisley. Darius Baisley could feast against, if it's a shorthanded Rockets team, and he's going to be a piece to grow with for OKC as they rebuild.
Baisley could go for 80 if it's a 12-on-1.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so there we go. More updates as they come. But John Wall and some teammates have been sent home. Wall tests negative for COVID, but tonight's game against Oklahoma City very much in doubt. You want to play a little Secret Santa?
I love Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. All right, we got each other gifts.
Okay.
Inside this box are 4 bets I'm giving to my good friend Tyler Fulgham.
Same here.
From what I understand, he will be giving me 4 bets as well. Now, these games can run all the way up until and through January 1st, and then we will come back the next show after that. We are back Monday, but the next show after that is when we will update to see who did better. So my gift to you, sir.
My gift to you, my good sir. Ho,
Thank you.
Ho, ho.
Begin. Let me know what you think.
All right, you. I'm
so generous.
You
shouldn't have.
What'd you get me here? Let's see what you got me. Okay. One gift that you got me, a 6-point teaser, Brother Joe. Saints tease down to -1 over the Vikings, and the Buffalo Bills tease down to -1 over the Patriots. So you like the Saints, you like the Bills, you're teasing them down. That's a good gift. I like it.
I'll very quickly give you some updates as to why I like that. Number 1, Minnesota 2-3 over their last 5. They're not nearly the playoff team some think they are. Those 2 wins by a combined 4 points over Carolina and Jacksonville. Plus Buffalo with the chance to really drive it home to New England on Monday night. Tease it from 7 down to 1. We basically just need to win each game.
All right, let's talk some college football because you've given me a couple of gifts there. Alabama first half over Notre Dame?
We do not have a line on this yet, but because they're about a 20-point favorite, it's going to be roughly around 10, 10.5, 11. So I want you to win the first half with Alabama. They are nasty. This is the gift that keeps on giving. It's been giving for years. Alabama ranks number 1 in the country in first half scoring this year at 29.6 points per game. They have outscored their 11 opponents by an average of 19 points per game in the first half. I do not see Notre Dame keeping pace. Alabama first half. That's from me to you.
All right, final college football gift, Clemson. You're just going to lay the wood, and they're going to beat the Buckeyes by at least 8 points.
Yeah, they've been talking plenty of trash. Dabo's been all over them. You don't need a whole lot. Ohio State's secondary in question. They don't deserve to be here, but they're here because they're a moneymaker. Clemson rolls.
Now, I notice with these wonderful gifts, you've put a piece of coal in my stocking. You son of a biscuit-eating bulldog. Seattle over my Rams?
Okay, so not coal.
Why would you do this?
The producer said, we want one game of coal. And I said, not on Christmas. Not for my boy Tyler Foljam. You know what I said? You're such a Rams fan. And I know you want to go out and you want to win that game. That in the event your beloved Rams don't win, you're going to make some money with Seattle on the money line because that's what I think of you. I wanted to put that little emotional hedge ticket in your pocket. So in the event your Rams don't win, you make some money. So you're either very happy with the win or they lose the game and
way to ruin a nice gift.
well, let's see what you got for me. Shall we? I'm so excited. Game number 1, the Heat -5.5 against the Pelicans. Well, I just bet the Pelicans, so I can't say I'm thrilled about this. I'm hedging.
That was my favorite bet on the NBA card. But yeah, I hope either way, you're either going to be right and rub it in my face, or if you're wrong, your gifts are going to pay off.
Okay, thank you very much. Titans-Packers over 56, as you saw in Parlay to Paradise. I very much like that wager. Thank you for doubling down.
Big hog, big dog, Derrick Henry. He's going to eat, and then Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, the Tennessee Titans, aren't going to stop him.
Clemson, Ohio State, under 65.
Yeah, there's been a trend for both of these teams in the college football semifinals that the last 5 that Clemson have played have gone under. I think Clemson has a good enough defense to limit Justin Fields, and I don't think they're going to score 45, 50 points against Ohio State.
Oh, good. I get to root against 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. And for Cole, the Falcons money line at the Chiefs.
Now, see, this is a piece of coal that could turn into a diamond.
Yeah, it could.
Likely not, but if the Chiefs overlook the Falcons and Julio Jones is playing, I could see the Falcons here's what is certain to happen. Regardless, the Falcons will have like a 10-point halftime lead, and then it's just whether or not they blow it in traditional fashion in the second half.
Thank you. Plus 425, I mean, I'm
love that value?
overwhelmed with emotion.
Love that value?
I'll have a lead, no doubt. I'll have a lead in this game. The question is whether or not it goes away. All right, final segment before the holidays. This is called Santa's Balls. Get your mind out of the gutter, please. Santa's bag, I'm being told it's called. But it's filled with balls.
Ornaments,
yeah,
also called ornaments.
These ornaments represent the teams that are playing each other in each of the 5 Christmas Day games. So this right here is a Christmas Day game.
Okay.
Pick one ball.
Okay, so I gotta
spray the confetti everywhere.
and
let us know which team you pick.
This is what I've been told to do.
We're gonna see if like on Thanksgiving, the random balls can do a better job than Tyler and I of picking Christmas games. Well, they look like balls. I'm going to call them balls.
Tied these ornaments together. They're
really struggling over there, aren't you?
Yes,
really
I am. This
struggling over there.
Okay, hold on.
Would you like me to
We've made some headway.
Look at this guy. You can't keep him down,
this
folks.
Christmas ball and oh boy, here we go. Yay!
Very festive. Very festive. What do you got?
So here's what I ended up pulling out of this Christmas ornament that Santa's. I got the Nets.
The New Jersey Nets. That's with me.
Nets. Brooklyn, they're also known as, but I'm on the other side.
All right. Game number 2. And here, I'll let you go ahead and get started on this one.
Oh, we're doing all of them, huh?
Yeah, this is actually.
We're ripping all of them.
I am going to just pop this, take this.
Oh, God! It's everywhere. That literally went down my shirt. I think I'm going to have some in my
Miami Heat, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami Heat.
Okay.
You've got some glitter in your hair, sir.
I got one for you there, buddy.
It feels like thunder snow.
I have.
No, what are we thinking?
The Dallas Mavericks.
All right, we're both in agreement on that one. The Dallas Mavericks.
All right, you need this back, don't you?
Yeah, and then I'm going to toss this right back to you. This place is a mess. I will not be cleaning this up.
I literally have some in my ear, which is outrageous.
These were tied in such ridiculous fashion.
Who's cleaning this, by the way?
I believe it's your turn.
My turn to clean? Okay. Well, it's the wrong camera.
That was the wrong camera. It would have.
Here, I'll go ahead and hit you.
The Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets. That's one of your picks.
So that means that I have in the final game The Milwaukee Bucks. I like that. I like Milwaukee. So
Milwaukee Bucks.
Mavs, Nets for I. Milwaukee, Mavs, Nets for I. This is outrageous.
This is a mess. How do you even clean something like this up?
It's in my pants.
Happy holidays. It's in my ear and in my earpiece as well. Bet. That's where we are.
Santa's bag. Santa's bag.
All right, Santa's picks to win on Christmas Day. Here we go. Santa is going to go with Brooklyn. I'm on Brooklyn. You are not. Santa is going to go with Miami. You're on Miami.
Yeah.
I am not.
Right.
Santa is going with Dallas.
We're in
both
line
on
with Santa.
Dallas. Santa is going to go with Denver. You're on Denver. I am not. Santa's going with Milwaukee, and we're both on Milwaukee?
Yes, we are.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Santa, we love you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, brother.
For you, put it on number 25.
Put it on number 25. Well, here
For
you
old
go.
JC.
Right back at you. Here's a couple right
Thank
back
you.
at you there, brother.
Caught them both. Ladies
Merry
and gentlemen,
Christmas.
thank you for
Happy
watching the
holidays.
show. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you Monday. Back on Bet.
Attention closed captioning personnel. The show you are captioning has concluded. Thank you for your services. Attention closed captioning personnel. The show you are captioning